Hey everybody, Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, you look at the world and you can see that it is spiraling down and heading towards a place that only fictional books can really best describe, or movies. Now, I like to use an analogy of the Hunger Games, because that's really where we're headed. And I know this sounds kind of alarmist or negative, being negative, but you have to look at all the evidence, and not just in your particular country that you live in, or my country that I used to live in, or my current country here. All around us we can see it, and it's been spanning over decades and decades, caused by poor political action, poor policy. And my belief is it's being driven by a secret society, a cult of secret societies, globalists, some people call them globalists. And it's just, you can see everything happening. The cost of living going up everywhere. The cost of every single thing, such as food, shelter, high crime going up, as in this is the result of bad policy, too much immigration in certain countries, like in the West. Just overall insanity all over the place. And this is not hyperbole. You can tell me, wherever you are in the world, wherever you're watching from, are you living luxuriously? Are you living happily? Is your place safe? Do you have adequate services? And when I say luxuriously, I just mean where you're not struggling to make ends meet. Because for some people, just having the bare necessities would just be great, you know. The only ones living truly luxuriously, as in having more money than all of us put together, is these fat cat politicians, billionaires, these oligarchs all around the world, which corner the market on everything. But I believe that it's just constantly getting worse. Less jobs, things are being more automated, AI into the fold. And think of it this way: you're not making enough money to pay your bills. You have to take on another job. What if you lose one of those jobs? Everything is such a very fine thread. You know, you're hanging by the thread. That's how everything feels like to me. But yet everyone's like, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry. We got the politicians working on it. We're going to create more jobs. It's always the same repetitive spiel from these politicians running. And they always give themselves raises. They give themselves immunity from certain prosecutions or crimes that they've committed in most countries, not every country. But that's going to be the norm. Just like you have Trump going back into the White House. Whether you like him or dislike him, I'm pretty much neutral on the whole thing. He does think he's immune to anything. But that's just like any other politician, puppet politician. When he leaves office in 4 years, it'll be just some other guy come in, you know, looks different, but same agenda. And the people who are in the big club are the ones that will not suffer. They think they're not going to suffer, but in the end, when this agenda is fully rolled out, if these globalists get what they want, And they will, so long as humanity doesn't choose to wake up or continues to be in its slumber. It's only going to get worse from here. Cutting programs, giving rights to more criminals. I haven't seen it too much in the U.S. When I see some criminals prosecuted, they really do pay, but how long will that last? How long will the prison system stay in operation? A lot of them are privatized as well. So crime is also a business. If you don't have these inmates, you don't have the services. Healthcare, same thing. It's all a fabrication. It's all a business. I'm not telling you not to go to your doctor or anything like that, because you ultimately choose what you want to do in your life. But I would like to really know what you guys think. Are you well off? And I know a majority of you are going to say no, because let's face it, most of society in this entire world, and sure, North America doesn't have it as bad as X or as Y. Let's say African countries. There are always going to be wealthy people everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. But when you look at the entire population, people are having a shitty time. They have to deal with all kinds of problems. But when it comes to cost of living, I think that's affecting everybody, especially the supply and demand. That gets to be a problem when a certain group of people move into an area and there's a higher demand for a certain product or whatever, or a certain service. That happens. The supply chain difficulties as well could be a real issue, whether it's a quote-unquote natural disaster, or if there's some sort of feud going on in some country which produces a large portion of a product, that could influence cost of things. There's just so many variables, and I don't see a good path forward. I mean, because of this system we live in, it's easily controlled by whoever instilled it, you know. So very manipulative they are, and the system is very manipulative, or able to be manipulated, I should say. And that's the design. That was designed for that. There's no question it was designed for that. It's only going to get even more easier for them to manipulate if you go into digital currency, which I talk about a lot. They're pushing hard for that. Cashless society. Some people are going to be left behind if we move into that system as well, because a lot of people do not simply use a smartphone or computers. But that'll also come to pass. It's not going to be good times, my friends. Not to mention we have to deal with all this bullshit with society. There's so many layers of bullshit in this life. And it feels like a tightrope is just getting tighter around all of our necks. And it's really disheartening. This is just a reality. A lot of you don't have to believe what I'm saying, but I know that most of humanity is suffering. It's easy to say that. Most of humanity is suffering. Whether it be because of cost of living, lack of proper nutrition, clean water, the basics, essentials of life on this planet. And I know I'm going to get a few people come in here and be like, I'm doing just great. Good for you. You know, not everyone is as lucky or fortunate as you are. I think the only way we get out of this is everybody just has to find a way to come together. Set aside the differences, set aside racial differences, set aside any stupid little difference of opinion or idea that we have about one another, and see what's really happening. But it's hard because they've got a lot of people distracted as well. I'm just calling it for what it is. This is the reality of this world. It may not seem so on a small scale, but when you look at it as a whole, you can go to other places around the world and see how much of a shithole these places are, which it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. But humans, specifically these globalist locusts, go to these countries and rape and pillage. And I don't just mean humans, I mean the resources. Like you got the example of Greenland, where Trump is wanting to take Greenland over. It's not to help Greenland. It's not for national security. And I'm going to talk about in another video about this. It's for its resources. It's rich in tons of resources. It's the biggest island in the world. And the poor people are going to get exploited there. You know, I don't know if they're Inuits or they're like Native Americans or natives, indigenous people. It's pathetic how this small group of humans are imposing their will on the rest of us. Anyway, I just wanted you guys to think about that. Do some research, even though I know that it's difficult to do that when we're all busy with our lives trying to survive. But it's important to face the truth head on. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video very soon. Bye for now.